last chapter ended with our gang and Queen Sensei talking to Koki, and here they learned that someone had ordered her to steal Momo's powers using a small knife. Will they find out who the culprit is behind this order? Let's find out. We continue the story in chapter 175, titled, So Who's the True Perp? Here, our gang found it hard to believe what they learned, and Okarun asked if Koki was referring to paranormal power, while Aira asked if that was possible, to which Koki replied that's what she was told. She said she was told that if she stabbed Momo with that knife, she could steal her power. However, she couldn't just directly stab her to activate it, and in order to steal the power, there were conditions. Koki's head suddenly hurt while explaining, so she caught Queen Sensei's attention, who asked if she was okay, and asked her to sleep, to which she replied she was fine. Aira shouted to wait and asked what conditions she was talking about, telling her not to beat around the bush and just say it, but she said she couldn't remember. Aira got irritated because she couldn't remember things again, and said this wasn't funny and asked if she expected them to believe that, which made her reply that what she was saying was true and she wasn't lying. Momo commented that in the end, Koki was probably just an agent, and there was a possibility she would fail in her mission. To avoid the worst-case scenario of seeing the culprit, she said it was possible the evil teacher did something to Koki. She then asked about her power to use the little pygmies, and if she had been able to do it for a long time. Koki answered no, and it was a power that the teacher forcefully gave her. Momo couldn't believe that power was given to her, and asked how, so Koki explained that the teacher had numerous knives like the one given to her, and cut one of them into her arm, after which she could see the small pygmies. Some pygmies started climbing up Koki's body and seemed to be patching up the wound she got from the stabbing, but she just got angry and swatted them away, while saying that she already told them not to touch her. Momo shouted that what she did was mean, and weren't they just trying to protect her, to which she replied she didn't need this power. She said they were always following her, and she was creeped out by them. Koki started crying while saying she didn't want to see them and wanted her life to return to normal. She said she only messed up once, so she started questioning why all these things are happening to her. Queen Sensei began explaining that in the past, there was a student who told her that he could see a small old man. She said he was very scared and wished they wouldn't see them anymore, so she investigated. According to the folklore of a certain region, she said the pygmies were originally people driven from the surface, the societally weak, and they were the people forgotten by the world. These people quietly disappeared from the world and became little pygmies. She said they no longer had memories of who they used to be, but their desire to have someone acknowledge their existence remained strong. So when they find someone who can see them, they gather around that person and will do anything to help them. It was also said that luck would come to you if you saw a pygmy. When she told this to the student who came to her for counseling, he started looking for these little old men. Koki turned to look at her pygmy friends, and they cheered while looking at her. She remembered the time she was pushed around in the hallway and seemed invisible in the classroom, and even the words she heard in their house while looking at them. The pygmies made a message for her here, and they sewed the words "hang in there Koki," symbolizing that they were there for her, making Koki start crying because she felt she had been pushing away the creatures who were helping her. Momo commented to wait, and explained that if that was the case, it meant she didn't create the pygmies. She asked if it was correct that they had existed since olden times, to which Koki agreed and said that's what they were saying. Momo was surprised and asked if that meant Koki could understand the pygmies, to which she replied only a little, which made Momo even more disbelieving. She asked if any of them knew how to return someone who had been shrunk back to normal. Koki closed her eyes and listened to the pygmies, but unfortunately, none of them knew how. Because of this, Momo became dejected, while Okarun said they just needed to find another way. Aira added that she was also curious about the owner of this knife because not only could it steal abilities from a person, but it could also give them to others. And not just from Momo, but it could also take the power of hers and the others. Those could be taken from them, just like what happened with the aliens. What's more, she said, now other humans with powers were behind this. Gigi asked Koki if she knew any other people who were given power like her, But Aira objected that there was no point and she wouldn't know that. Aira stood up and said they should stay together as much as possible and not give their enemy any openings, to which Gigi playfully agreed. Aira asked what they would do with Koki now, and Momo answered that they would watch over her for now. She said there was a big chance their enemy would contact her, and that's when they would appear and catch them in the act, and Aira added they would force them to delete her embarrassing underwear photos of Koki, making her thank her. Aira also asked what Koki's full name was, and she answered Koki Yukishiro, which caught Aira's attention, puzzling Koki. Aira explained that in a junior piano competition, Koki was the youngest in history to achieve the top prize. This surprised Koki, and she asked how she knew that. So Aira pointed out how could she not know when, after all, she was the one who lost to Koki, except when she practiced so hard that she managed to defeat her. Aira said she had faith in her own talent, and she worked hard too. At first, one may win by luck, but in the end, she realized that you can't keep taking to the stage if you don't have talent. Koki remembered the times she lost in a piano competition, and when she looked carefully at Aira's face, she remembered the smug look she gave her, making her shout that she was Aira Shiratori. She also asked if Aira still played piano, to which Aira replied she had quit and it was a pain in the neck, which shocked Koki. She explained that she quit because of her, so why would she stop playing piano? To which Aira shouted to stop being ridiculous and that she was just a chicken-hearted person. She said Koki should be grateful her parents paid for her to play piano. So Koki replied who was she to talk when she just said playing was a pain in the neck. Koki started complaining that because of Aira, she ended up believing she had no talent and quit playing piano, to which Aira arrogantly said that people who keep talking about talent don't put in enough effort. While this was happening, Vamola and Rin said they had finished sewing Aira and Okarun's shirts. Meanwhile, Momo was still trying to show Okarun where the pygmies were, but Okarun still couldn't see anything. On the other hand, Gigi approached the bedridden Sakata who was hit by Queen Sensei earlier and asked if his nose was okay, to which Sakata replied that he hated men and wanted women to worry about him. When Queen Sensei asked if he was okay and apologized, his cheeks turned red with excitement and he shouted that he was perfectly fine. And there you have it. It seems our gang has made another new friend. What plan will they make to catch the culprit in the act when they contact Koki? Let's wait for that in the next chapter. By the way, Dandadan will be having a short hiatus and will be back on December 9th, so see you then. As compensation, here's some Dandadan memes for you guys.